We're in Ot Chet. So, we're in Ot Chet. Yes, we're in Ot Chet. There's a lot what to speak about here. We're really getting in the depth of the Torah right now. It's coming alive. Rabbeinu said that the manig is, remember what? Remember everything? The manig is merciful. His mercy translates in the fact that he wants to save a Jew from averot. A Jew that does averot is the most pitiful thing. The hardest thing that could be for him is to be involved in sin. A Jew needs to stay away from sin. The tzaddik is doing everything to get him out by giving dat. Dat, and by praying for them. And we're going to come back to that. Dat, when you give dat, you have a benefit. The benefit is makifin. And the makif is something that was out of your range. Thank you very much. God bless you. The makif was out of your range. When you give over the chokhmah that you know, you empty out the pnimi, you get a makif. There's makifim that are too high that you're not supposed to bring down. All this is in the past classes. The manim in azman, no time to explain them. We also understood that means that, according to the paparot, is that there's no benefit to the world to bring them down. Tzaddik maybe could handle them, but there's no benefit for the world.
At that moment or in general?
Ever.
At that moment, no? There's some that should never come down, ever.
There's some that it's not a makif of this world. There's no way to dress them up in anything in this world.
Why would it even be accessible, this makif? It's only for the Chacham Ador.
You're asking a wonderful question.
Thank you.
And later in the Torah, we're going to see what there's called remazim. There's remazim, which seems to me, there's something we can't put in words. But since the tzaddik sword is holding there's no words. But with
illusion.
A look,
There's
with
an
a
illusion.
hand, with an illusion. Sometimes there's things that you can't explain. There's no words to explain them. But you can give them over in code. And we can't say this out loud. But you're going to understand something from it and you're able to get an energy from it. Seems to be. Now, all this was dressed up. Well, Rabbeinu is showing all this in the interaction with Moshe Rabbeinu and Rabbi and Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to heaven and he said that he sees that there's Rabbi Akiva. Not my mistake. He sees that Hashem is kosher ktarim lautiyot. He's making crowns on the letters. And Hashem Moshe Rabbeinu tells him, Mi me'akev al yadecha. For who? And it's very miduyak lashon. I'll show you the papot of this also. Mind blowing.
What does
Mi me'akev simply means pour qui? For who? Nobody gets that stuff. Who is making you do that? There's going to be Rabbi Akiva that he's going to know how to be doresh this. Hashem, so he tells Moshe Rabbeinu, says, okay, give him the Torah. Why giving me the Torah? Hashem tells him, shtok.
Do we know at what point was it when he was in Shamayim?
When he was getting the Torah.
Yeah, but what was it the beginning? You know, because I'm always asking myself, what Hashem didn't teach him? Amen. Hashem didn't. He taught him the Zohar, the Torah Shebel Peh, Torah Shemichtav, Torah Nigle, Torah Nistar. Why wouldn't he teach him the Tagim?
You're right. So it seems like is Rabbi Akiva bigger than Moshe Rabbeinu? But you can't get it, Moshe. Only Rabbi Akiva is going to understand this. Sorry, Moshe, it's not on your level. Can we say that?
No, not in your level. No.
Exactly. Can we say that?
No, we cannot say that.
So what does it mean? What does that Gemara mean? The truth is, right now, this is what we wanted to get to. We wanted to, if we're bonded, this is Iyun of Likoutey Moharan. If we're bonded by this, we have to open up the Gemara, and we got to see the Mefarshim over there. What in the world is happening in that story?
Is it possible that the world hasn't changed enough to catch up to be able to learn that moment?
Say again?
Rabbi Akiva existed, what, like 2,000 years after?
Yeah, something like that.
Rabbi Akiva is 1,300 years after Moshe Rabbeinu.
Okay. The world was, the matzah of the world was not the same 1,300 years before as after. So
Well,
sometimes,
you can
the
say
same way you cannot explain a child a tosfot, maybe at that point the world didn't go through what it needed.
So you're saying that Rabbi Akiva, because of the progression of the world, can get chapit. He can get it.
No.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't make sense because the Zohar also wasn't ready for the world, but he still taught it to him when he was in Har Sinai.
Chazal says, what is it?
He taught him everything.
Chazal says, Kol chidush, tamid vatik, atid dichadesh, Moshe Rabbeinu knew it.
Yeah.
He knew every little chidush that anybody in the world ever was going to say. So
Until the end of time.
How can you not know this?
So he said I was going to say that right now.
Exactly, he said that, and they're laughing upstairs.
So everything. So what does it mean over here that first of all, I don't understand that. I don't know the answer right now. But in the context, it sounds like that. We have a problem with that. We have a problem. There's another Gemara, the same Gemara. You know what's crazy over there? I just reminded myself. Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to see, okay, let me see, Rabbi Akiva. So he came to the yeshiva of Rabbi Akiva, and he's there, and they're asking questions, and he says, and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know. Rabbi Akiva, he was explaining things he didn't know. He says, Rabbi Akiva, from where do you know this? So he said, Chadishut Adat. Why am I getting the Torah? He should get the Torah. And he said, Rabbi Akiva, from where do you know? He said, Aracha Moshe Misinai.
What?
I got it from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu had a peace of mind. What is that?
So weird.
What does that mean? So our job now, between me and you, tomorrow we're going to have to open that the Gemara.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see that Gemara and see what it means. Because right now it's hard to understand. And it's probably, listen well, the questions that we're having now is a birur in the Torah. If we're being led to be bothered with this, and we're going to open it, it's going to clarify us concepts in the Torah. That's how it works.
Absolutely.
So by understanding that question and that answer, it's going to open up doors and gates over here in the Likoutey. But either way, what is Rabbeinu saying here now? That Hashem tells him, Shtok, kach alav b'machshava. Now, shtok doesn't make sense. Shtok is on something you're going to say, not that you said. So Rabbeinu asks, Moshe Rabbeinu already said the question. So how does he now tell him shtok? Must be that the question was a pnimi. He understood something. When he verbalizes the question, he's verbalizing it. Now, he just took it out of himself. He unloaded the merchandise. Now he has room in his storehouse for the new makif. So he gets the new makif, which is the answer why you, Moshe Rabbeinu, need to get the Torah and not Rabbi Akiva. But if you say, oh, Hashem, now I know why I should get the Torah. If you say that, you're going to have another question on why it's you, seemingly. So therefore, don't say the answer. Shtok. Why shtok? Kis kach alav b'machshava. Shtok, the answer that you just got uploaded into your system, don't say that answer because you can have a new question on the answer. That's what Rabbeinu is saying. Let's read it. Let's read it again. V'dichora, the balat. So in the first column, the bottom, last three lines. V'dichora, kasher. Ma amarnu Hashem yitbarach shtok. Halo kvar amra akushya. Rabbeinu already questioned. Uma zo ashtika. What are you been crying about? Me'achar shekvar gisha ma shiksha. He already asked what he asked. Ach tekev shamar Moshe akushya. When Moshe Rabbeinu asked the question, Rabbi Akiva should get the Torah. Nafal b'sichlo tirutz al akushya. The answer to the question fell into his mind. Ach im haya omeret atirutz. But if he says over the answer, haya nichnas bo makif acher. A new makif would come in. Vaya bal kushya yoter chazaka urechava mibatchila. Once the answer to the question comes in, he's going to have even bigger question why he should get it not like Rabbi Akiva. Al ken amarnu yitbarach Hashem yitbarach shtok al atirutz. Not shtok on the question, shtok on the answer. Don't say the answer. Hanishishtok velo yigale et atirutz. כדי שלא יבוא על קושיה יותר חזקה מבתחילה. So we won't get a question which is even stronger from the first one. וזהו כך עלה במחשבה, היינו שתקף שמגלין את השכל הפנימי, when you give over the שכל הפנימי, אזי עולה במחשבה שכל אחר חדש. A new שכל comes out. כי נכנס מקיף אחר לפנים, על כן צריכים לשתוק. כדי שלא יבוא למקיפין שאין צריכים להשיגם. You shouldn't bring it down. It's too much for you. וזהו שתוק כך קלה במחשבה. This sounds also like the first pirush of the Pakvot, that it could be too bothersome for Moshe Rabbeinu. There might be no answer for him. So Moshe Rabbeinu has to be quiet. And God, on Shabbat, I want to tell you the chiddush what we said. If you look at the Mahalach of the Torah, that's why it's always you always have to look back over your shoulder. If you know the Torah well from the beginning, should come out a problem over here. And if you have a problem, if you look well in the Torah, you should find an answer. What problem do we have here? We said till now that the tzaddik is Rahman, correct? And we said that the Rahmanut of the tzaddik is to pray for Am Yisrael, to teach Am Yisrael, to get them away from sin. What is the benefit of teaching Torah, teaching knowledge, keep teaching your pnimi? You get a new makif. When you give over what is pnimi by you, you get access to what was inaccessible to you, which is the makif. You get a new makif. When you have a ben or a talmid, you have a student, you give over to the talmid. When you speak with your friend in Yirat Shamayim, you unload. When you're megaleh chokhmato to the person, and I'll show you where it's written in the Torah again. If you read it in, if you look in Odvav, Aridesho skim nidaber echad im chavero nachnis bodad Yirat Shamayim na'amid talmidim. Look what it says. לדבר אחד עם חברו, להכניס בו דעת ויראת שמיים. נעמיד על ידי זה נכנסים נורות המקיפים. היינו שזוכה להבין מה שלא היה אדם מבין מתחילה. So you're able to know by teaching to the other person. And I ask you, God, who is Moshe Rabbeinu teaching? To Hashem? He's asking a question to Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu is not teaching his friends. He's not teaching a Talmud. He's not machnis dat in anybody. The question he's asking now is a question for why is he the leader, and Rabbi Akiva is not the leader. That's not teaching at all. Elamai. So from here we're going to come out a new yesod. Seems to me. You're free to disagree, but it seems to me that what Rabbeinu is telling us here is something very subtle. It's a remez over here. It's very dark. And if you look at what's said at the beginning, the rachmanut of the tzaddik. What is the rachmanut of the tzaddik? To save a person from sin. If you go back to the beginning of the Torah, please look back in Od Bet and look back in Od Gimel. Open it up. The one who is the real manhig is Moshe Rabbeinu in Od Bet. Moshe Rabbeinu, third line. Aya rachman be'emet al Yisrael. Umasar nafsho bishvil Yisrael. Vishnich nafsho mineged. He took the bullet for them. He gave everything for them. V'lo haya choshesh al atzmo klal. He was not interested in his own personal gain. Because Hashem told him, Ased chadegoy gadol, v'hu lo yishkir al zeh. Amar im tisach hatatam. Ki hu haya rachman manhig amiti. He was able to be like Avraham Avinu. We're going to erase everyone and start again from you. No. He's a real leader. You erase them, you forgive them, or you erase me. Okay? So the Rachmanut Moshe Rabbeinu was that he was interested in them. Look in Od Gimel, at the bottom of Od Gimel. Arken Moshe Rabbeinu, last 5 lines, 7 lines, last 3 words. Arken Moshe Rabbeinu, בקונת שנפל ישראל באיזה עוון, היה מוסר נפשו עליהם להתפלל באדם. Mesirat nefesh, to pray for them. Can somebody explain to you what Mesirat nefesh is to pray for somebody? Why is that Mesirat nefesh? Mesirat nefesh is when I'm giving up something. What am I gaining? I could be involved in my own personal gain, and I'm praying for you. I'm doing for you. So I'm Moser nefesh, I'm giving up myself. Maybe that's a pshat. I could be learning, I could be doing for myself, I'm praying for you. So I'm giving up from me and I'm giving to you. But it's not a real Mesirat nefesh. Unless we say, like we said before, he would pray for them, like we said before. When he prayed for them before, he said, Hashem, if you don't forgive them, you erase me. His Mesirat nefesh is in the way he's praying. Who doesn't want to be the leader? Who doesn't want to be in charge? Who doesn't want to have that kavod in that position? Who doesn't want to have it? There's a story of the Rashash. The Rashash was Rav Sharabi. They came from Teman. Gadol HaMikubalim. He came to Yeshiva Bet El and he wanted to be the Shamash. He was a great Kabbalist, the biggest. The Siudur Rishash we have in the Kavanot of the Arizon is from him. And when he was he wanted to be the cleaner in the Shamash of Bet Knesset, put away the books, and he pretended like he didn't know anything. At a certain point, the Rav of Bet El was giving over shiur, and there was kushot in the Ari. They didn't understand the Arizon. So the next morning, when he would wake up, he would find a petek with an answer. He'd find a note with the answer. So he'd ask, which Talmid put this note in my book to explain me the Ari? Nobody would fess up. So one day he decided to do a trick, and he pretended that he was sleeping, and he saw the Shamash answering. It was the Rashash. So Rashash was really a tzaddik mikubal, nistar, that he had all the answers to the Kabbalah. He was bigger than the Rebbe of Bet El. So the next day he told them, okay, we have a new Rav over here, it's him, I'm sitting here. Mesirat nefesh, you're great, you're good. Okay, a few things they won't get. But you're going to give to the Rashash to be the Rav, and you're going to be the Talmid. Moshe Rabbeinu was willing to give up his seat. He was willing to give up everything from Yisrael. You erase them, or you forgive them, or you erase me. If that's true, so the Rachmanut is also the Tfilot. We said before that the Rachmanut of the Tzaddik is to give dat to the Tzaddik. But what if I tell you that you can give dat a different way? That's what's coming out over here. You can give dat by praying for them. Now it is a Mesirat Nefesh. So now I want to explain the Gemara that way. Rabbi Akiva, which we don't understand why, is bigger than Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu is saying it's not a question. It's a question for Am Yisrael. For Am Yisrael, they're better than me. He's better for them than I am. For Am Yisrael, it would be better for them. Who cares about who's on top? I want the results of the company. The company will have a better profit return if Rabbi Akiva is in charge. So Moshe Rabbeinu is praying at this moment when he's saying, why do you give the Torah to me? It's a prayer. The same way he prayed before to save Am Yisrael from the Chet HaMeraglim, from the Maseh HaEgem, forgive them or erase me. He's praying now as well. Give the Torah to Rabbi Akiva for the good of the Klal. He's willing to erase himself. That is the Rachmanut on them. If they'll have a bigger Rebbe, they'll do less Avirot. So what do I care who's in charge? I want the good of the company. If you have an employee, some employee just wants his bonus. Some employee wants the good of the company. And when the employee is a son, he wants the good of the company. It doesn't matter who gets the bonus. When you're just an employee, you want the bonus. I don't care if the company goes bankrupt. So Moshe Rabbeinu was praying, I think, at this moment for Am Yisrael. If he's praying for them, we see over here that there's two ways to give that. One is to pray, you're praying for them, and one is to explain to them. If explaining, now we do a hekesh. If explaining is giving dat, and it's bringing new dat, so praying is giving dat, and it's bringing new dat. So it turns out over here, could very well be, that when I pray for somebody, I'm actually giving him brains, I'm giving him sech, I'm giving him dat. But since I gave him that, so the system of, it sort of comes out of me and gives him that. I didn't explain to him, I might not even be in the same room as him, I might be on this side of the world, I might not even know who he is. But praying for him is giving that, and we said giving that brings down new that. So when Moshe Rabbeinu is praying for Klal Yisrael, he's bringing down a new makif, comes out. That you understand what the Gemara says in another place, that the kol bidei shamayim chutz mirat shamayim. Everything is in heaven's hands except your fear of heaven. And that means that if you're going to be tall or short, if you're going to be rich or poor, if you're going to be smart or not, all of those things you don't decide. All you decide is with what you've been given, are you going to act in a holy way or the opposite? Will you do mitzvah or avera? Kol bidei shamayim chutz mirat shamayim. The Marsha asks, if so, how do you pray for people? How can I pray for you if that's all you have? So he answers, a good answer, that when I pray for you, Hashem is going to send you somebody to come and give you that. I heard another answer from if I'm kidding, Shlita, that he said that we're all connected. Am Yisrael is Arevim Zedezeh. So when I'm praying for you, I'm part of you. So the same way I will choose better, I will have Yirat Shamayim, I can give you Yirat Shamayim by praying for you. Then Yirat Shamayim comes with that. You only don't do Avirot if you have that. So praying for somebody gives him that. Comes out that praying for Klal Yisrael is actually giving down new makifim. And I want to answer on that, Moshe Rabbeinu and Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Moshe Rabbeinu, till 80 years old, is a tzaddik nistar. How did he reach all the lofty levels? And Rabbeinu himself is a tzaddik nistar until 18 years old. And Rabbeinu already at 18 years old, you know where he was? He had Talmidim that, with Talmidim Baal Shem Tov, that they came and become close to him. So how did Rabbeinu get to those levels if he was not teaching? We thought that only teaching. And all the people that don't teach, how do they reach levels? By praying for somebody else, you're giving him that, and by giving him that, you get a makif. So you can either be poor and teach, or I'm not a teacher. But if you pray for somebody, that's machniz dat. I know a person, he did tshuva, a big tshuva he did. And he had a sister, and he said to himself, I can't accept my sister will not do tshuva. But he was in Israel, and she was in America or something like that. And so how did he do? He prayed for every day while he was in yeshiva. When he came back the next year, she was a changed person, Baal Tshuva. You can make Baal Tshuva by praying for them. The people that you meet, the people you care about, if you pray for them to get them that, they will get downloads. They will get your sechel pnimi. It's like it's your pnimi, you're giving to them through the waves of the prayer. And if you give it over, so it's you're getting. I think we can say that in the Torah. Because you see over here, Moshe Rabbeinu is not teaching anybody. So if he's not teaching, how does he get a new download? You see from here, he's praying for Am Yisrael. Give them Rabbi Akiva. I'm moser my nefesh on them. I'm praying for them that there should be another Rebbe. It doesn't need to be me. I don't care who the Rebbe is. You're praying for them. First of all, it's going to be you. That's another thing. But you're praying for them. You're giving them that. You're getting that. That's the makif. Chazak,